भगवान काहे करते हो यार मेरे साथ वॉच पार्टी मेरे लैंड से पीसी भाई क्या चूतिया पीसी है भाई
Right now. Well, we'll have to see Kelly stand up to the challenge for now. Darren as well. As they both hold around middle.
See how much utility you can bait out here as well. Wouldn't be too bad of a thing for Global, right? Remove a couple of these key components of Paper X and gets a little bit more tricky to potentially get something to dive in towards the site and how you're setting them up. But you got to remember, double duelist, right? Jing can definitely let him lead in if needed.
With some of the utility that has gone out by middle as well, you know, Paper X possibly beginning to gather that this is the current defensive setup that GE is running. Just Poppy on this backside position around B. Easily dealt with, the paint shells completely blowing up in his face. You also have Annihilation now from Kelly's as an attempt, but unfortunately does not quite connect. You got Divide finding more shots down by middle, and it's just Yudotan left alone.
See what he can do in this 1 versus 5 to try and survive with the gun. Good for one, but just on the tail end here, I want to give a good little golf clap towards Paper X and their, you know, tact as a unit, right? They were very cohesive in how they're going together into that B site. They're just sending in the utility with the Nightfall, going in, they're dodging the Annihilation. You've got a TP backside as well. You've got great paint shells from Jing, which really, you know, catch Poppy off guard, for example, there. Just really good layering of utility to come out from Paper X and make that B site execute pretty flawless. Like this round, for quote unquote, is a flawless when it was decided.
Absolutely concur with that. Yudotan though, looking for some good damage. And this will be my attempt at golf commentary. Divide chips it. Goes in. Golf claps.
I'm not really a golf connoisseur myself.
Neither am I, honestly. I have no idea what I'm doing.
I'd say in this one, Paper X hit the hole in one, and Global Esports have, you know, hit it into the water. I don't know the actual terminology, but they've like banked it in the water.
Bunker? No,
that's the sandy thing.
Yeah, that's a sandy thing. Listen to us. Wait, what's the green thing called then? Grass.
Yeah, the green, isn't it? It's just called the green.
There's like the
yeah, something
Look
like
at us exposing our lack of golf.
Let's pick a sport we actually know, or rather, let's play some Valorant and do it on the Valorant that we know. Because what we know right now is that Global need a discussion.
Desperately.
They need to flip things the other side. As Patrick, who...
Oh, he's gonna take a Red Bull. Yeah, why not?
I mean, if you're getting some energy up somehow for this team, somebody needs to be, you know, bringing up the energy, right? You expect them to still be okay mentally right now. I think Darion's certainly having a bit of an outstanding performance in the consistency mark for this map, but the rest of the team, I mean...
I'm wondering what their economy's gonna look like for the next
Yeah, Yudo trying to do what he could at the tail end of last round, of course, right? But you got a timeout here to really consider. I think more importantly, not really the economy, but how you're just getting back into this map. How you're getting a single defensive round on the board with what you've got available, right? How you're getting Darion to do something with the judge. How are you potentially, you know, setting up a trap with Kelly S, with Yudotan. A lot of this utility over towards the A side of the map. You're looking out for any lurks up through mid, but the one at the bottom of the boat, you're looking out for the ramp as well.
Darren snuck in a garage, but yeah, the main hit into this Alpha site. Jing in with the showstopper does spot Poppy out, so now a good idea that most of them are backside and screens. Something though, off of the top heaven position will get gunned down. Trades come through from Forsaken and Petman as they march on through from ramps. In towards back screen then is where Jing finds his target. Yudotan still trying to play spoiler on the site though. Jing make quick work of him and just down to Darren, who was transitioning over from the B site.
Remember, he's got a judge. Definitely need to see him upgrade a weapon. There's not one available at the ramps. The closest is wrapping around into the open, the entry choke of the site. Though no one will spot him there exactly.
Yeah, he's throwing the judge away.
It's good repositioning, by the way, for Jing, meanwhile.
Yes, that's going to be the main factor. Even if Petman falls around this position, which is apparently not likely, Petman still consistently finding his form with this Paper X core.
Yeah, right now he is, you know, kind of dotting all the I's, crossing all the T's in terms of filling the void where needed around the map, setting up utility for them, just making sure that he's there to be the supporting cast for this roster. And if you're looking for somebody like that to be consistent for Paper X, that's what you need.
40 assists last year.
Yeah, but certainly, you know, we are seeing, you
कल है
new
शायद ना सेन का
look
मैच, आज
towards
रात को है
Paper X, right,
शायद।
with Patman in towards
आज
it,
रात को
figuring
सेन
out
की
a lot
मैच
of
की
the roles
स्ट्रीम
for
होगी
these
भाई रात
players.
को।
And, I mean, on this map,
30
double
30
duelist,
stream
as I
करता
said,
होगा।
playing the T1 style, it's looking
जबरदस्त
alright. You know,
stream
something,
है रात को।
it's been a bit awkward for him in terms of the actual
Friendly
kills,
losses
but you
उसको game
remember,
को कुछ नाम
he's
नहीं
found
लगा।
rounds
आज
by
stream
himself
नहीं
with the
रहा।
operator, with diving in towards the site.
Precisely. This time it's Divine in with the Outlaw, something up around the back. The sudden push out from Global, not a bad idea, but still getting punished by it now. Poppy has to hold off Garage by himself. The Haunt, the Boom Bot gives away his position. This could be it, Komodo.
Maybe. Someone check Jing PC. Through the smoke there, able to find the kill to give
जी
Paper
वाले
X
से
the
प्यारे से हमारे
advantage
सामने अच्छा
towards this
खेलते।
post plant where they've got, well, spike down
कुछ तो
and
बीच में एक टीम आई थी।
player advantage, as I said.
The Boom Bot
टुल्लू
gave him
टुल्लू हो गया
walls.
था उन लोगों के सामने।
That's what it was. Well, Crystal and Yudotan. If Yudotan could possibly work his Neuro Theft to his advantage, maybe.
He's taking so long. You've got to expect the flank, right? Surely.
Yeah, the slow creep up. And now you kind of have an idea. Crystal, though, not
Let's
too
go.
bad. Now the Nightfall.
Is this
Possible
real, guys?
chance. Hunt
निकाल
just
लेगा
to
क्या?
throw off the crosshair placement as well. Peeks out. But with the kills not found, Petman ends the map. The final scoreline bringing us to a 13-5 with Paper Rex taking it away.
Yeah, and I mean, that is a flawless attacking side to come.
भाई हमारा आईपीएल है भाई, है कि नहीं? तुम लोग बोलो आईपीएल है भाई। भाई विराट कोहली भाई, आपकी किस्मत खराब है विराट भाई। टू बी ऑनेस्ट भाई, आप कितना भी करो भाई, कितना भी करो, लास्ट को आपकी टीम आरसीबी भाई। मैं कल चड्डी भी रेड पहना था भाई आरसीबी के लिए, अभी तक कुछ हुआ नहीं भाई। फिर भी आरसीबी का भाई, आरसीबी कमिंग बैक टू हिज ओन फॉर्म भाई, आ गए अपने फॉर्म में, वो असली फॉर्म में। कल फिर से एक फिनिशर आया, बचाया वो लोग को। पहले डीके करता था, अभी फिर भाई क्या भाई 95 103 से तो 103 तो मत बोलो भाई तुम लोग आके। 103 आरसीबी का क्या है भाई? आरसीबी कमिंग बैक टू इट्स ओन फॉर्म। जीटी वर्सेस डीसी भाई जीटी वर्सेस डीसी में आई प्रिडिक्ट जीटी जीतेगी भाई, जीटी जीतेगी। दूसरा में चल रहा है, मैं भी प्रिडिक्शन मार देता थोड़ा। जीटी जीतती, शुभमन गिल 50 मारता, साई सुदर्शन 20-30 मारता, सिराज भाई की बॉलिंग अच्छी रहती है, चटैक, और केएल बुल्ले मिला देता जीटी को। केएल लास्ट को आके बुल्ले मिला देता, पक मारता। जेक फिजर मर्क आज मारता, बोल रहा हूँ, जेक फिजर मर्क मारता। स्टार की बॉलिंग आज टट्टी होती, देखो कहीं बोलते गिल उसको कर देता मसला। आज देख लो, कल मैं भी रीला काटतू, टी करके देखो, बोल रहा हूँ मैं। तब भी यार धोनी भाई जो मारे, माई सर लव यू। एक हाथ से 6 मारे, एक हाथ से पर गॉड भी भाई, भगवान भी माई भाई के साथ थे। एज लग के जा रहे, फुल टॉस पे दे रहे, समझ ना तुम ला भाई। लक कम्स विद माई भाई कैप्टनशिप। शिवम दुबे अच्छा मारा, और शार्दुल ठाकुर भाई सीएसके फॉरएवर। येलो उनके भी अंदर है, अभी भी येलो कलर है उनके अंदर। नो बॉल डाला उन्होंने मैं पेटीएम मारा, नो बॉल डाले उन्होंने सटैक। और स्ट्राइक भाई वेल बॉल, सुपर। वीकली रिकैप कर लेंगे अपन, सुपर ओवर वेल बोल दिया। 10 यॉर्कर घुटनों पे मारे, घुटनों के थोड़ा नीचे, पैरों को चादर खाड़ बना दी, पैर के नीचे आग कैसा लगाती वैसा, वो कोयले पे चले ऐसा कर दिया लोगों को। यार करा बॉल्स पैक्ड। ध्रुव जुरेल भाई, क्या भाई आप धोनी बन रहे हो? एक बॉल पे 2 रन चाहिए, भागो ना 2 रन। नया बैट्समैन आएगा, वो देखेगा। ठीक है कोई ना। सेकेंड मैच का कुछ प्रेडिक्शन दो। सेकेंड मैच का प्रेडिक्शन भी ले लो। 30 टीम्स के बीच में है, 30 टीम्स। आर वर्सेस एलएसजी भाई, नो प्रेडिक्शन भाई, अनप्रेडिक्टेबल है भाई वो लोग, रामचरण है भाई वो लोग। आज जीटी जीत के ऊपर चल जाती है यार, आई एम डैम श्योर जीटी जीत के ऊपर चल जाती। आई एम डैम श्योर, डैम जीटी जीत के ऊपर चल जाती है। शुभमन गिल मारता पैथेटिक बाबा, पैथेटिक पैथेटिक। लैग हो जा, ठीक है लैग हो जा पीसी, तेरे ही दिन चल रहे आजकल, लैग हो जा रही जब बोलो तब। सीएसके को कल जीतना पड़ेगा ना गाइस, कल जीतना पड़ेगा, एसआरएच को जीतना पड़ेगा। एमआई का इजी है, साथ में 5 मैच जीतना है बस, सेट। सीएसके के मैचेस देखिए, सीएसके का कल हैगा मैच, फिर 25 को होगा, फिर 30 को होगा, 5-5 दिन का गैप कहीं को भाई सीएसके कुछ। भाई 3 मई को होगा मौत का खेल। 1 2 3 4 5 6 7, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7। नींद कहीं को आ रही रे भाई। मैच कब शुरू होता रे भाई दूसरा वाला? अरे पर भाई फर्स्ट के 4 पूरे मैच चेज रहे सीएसके के। पूरे चेज जल्दी आना, दूसरा मैच लगाओ, दूसरा मैच लगाओ भाई जल्दी। 4 मिनट और है, क्या करूं मैं तब तक? आज टॉस होने भी आधा घंटा है, धूप बहुत है। मैच किधर है आज? मैच 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 कितना मच 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 करते रहता है रे बाबा। नरेंद्र मोदी स्टेडियम में, ठीक है, इजी इजी है, जीटी के लिए इजी है रे। व्हाट अ सनी डे। अरे मेरा उंगली दर्द करे जा रहा रे भाई। डिस्कॉर्ड में हम देखेंगे, मैं गेम कंप्लीट भी करना है रे गाइस। तुम लोग कब बोलते तब कंप्लीट कर दो गेम को, बकचोदी करेंगे उससे भी। क्या दूं पैसे? किसके? तेरे कहाँ से? कटिंग के कैसे? खतना कराने जा रहा है क्या? खतना
अरे दे तू,
क्या दूं रे?
पैसे दे।
कहाँ से तू? बैंक हो क्या?
हाँ।
नहीं है पैसे। बोले बोले बॉल्स केयर बॉल्स वाला अंदर होंगे ले ले रे बाइसेप्स तो है रे
हो गया मैच
सेकंड मैप स्टार्टर तब तेरी वजह से दल्ले सुबह से मेरा पीसी चला के बफ गेम क्या है रे लेट्स गो स्टार्टिंग मैच स्टार्टिंग क्यूटी Hello, madam. What is
That was Patrick who was in. Right?
Kaisan hai tum?
Yeah, it was.
So this is
It
gonna
was.
be a
I
major
haven't
game.
seen
Yeah,
Darion
we'll
playing
do.
Okay.
playing Yoru. I'm pretty sure it
Yanni?
was Patrick Hu on the Yoru. We saw it against DFM, and then I think another series against Talon, maybe. I can't
No,
remember.
Talon's in the other group. It must
Oh,
have
in the
been,
other group.
DRX or
Kenji
Genji.
Nikai.
DRX or Genji, yeah. Well, they definitely did. I think they've played this comp twice, and I definitely do remember Patrick Hu running out against DFM and them not doing anything, and he was just killing people for free. That definitely happened. So it was against Boom, apparently. How confident are we?
Thank you very much.
100%.
Our wonderful guest is helping us out with the stats there.
Komodo is sitting
Komodo
at
is
some
carrying
intel.
the desk. Thank you.
But yeah, I mean, I'm curious to see. I think I would like to see changes from Global, but they are sticking with what they know here. Darion is on the Yoru, same Breach Teo style, and Yudatan staying on that
Darion?
Cypher. As I just mentioned, he will have a rough time because Paper X are running double duelists.
Yeah, I think the Yoru is going to help a little bit against the Vice of Divide, but once again, you're going to see this double
Something
duelist
with the
comp.
Liana.
Jing,
Something
you know,
with
he's been a little bit
Idea.
miss on the Rays last time that they did play. I did like something on the Yoru. This is one of his more comfortable Yoru maps, although he looked a little bit out of it on Split initially, and also on Pearl, he swapped back over to Jet. This is a map where something on the Yoru worked very well for them, and they have a lot of setups built around it where he might be solo A and they're masking A pressure, and then they've got a trap prepped somewhere else. So hundreds of something. There you
Congo.
go, and it's going to be on the
Something
Yoru.
by
It is. Funnily enough, when he was saying, I'm not so comfortable on the Euro, and like you said, this map, the last time we saw it last week against DFM, he looked like a Euro player. He didn't look like a Jet player. He looked like he was playing Euro the way Euro is meant to be played. So let's see if he can repeat that
Easy
performance
win
because
for
it was
GE, bro.
phenomenal
Lotus
last
अपना
week,
है.
or if GE can
Lotus
bring this
Indian
to
map पे
this
अपन
map
जीत
and get closer
जाते,
to the playoffs.
मारता
We're gonna send
देखो
it back to
डायरिया
our
भाई.
casters, Komodo and
पेटे
Quack.
में पैट्रिक हुकू कहीं को नहीं लिए ब्रो.
Thank you very much, Victoria Big Time. And Pilsky, yes, we've got the something. You're back at it again. He was doing pretty amazing things from the operator in map 1. And this is also a map where Paper X last had a 10-2 defensive first half against DFM last week.
Got to remember though, DFM was the game that Global Esports managed to win on this map, but then they lost to Boom Esports, which is what we're following up on that, where we did see Patrick Hu on the Yoru. Now we've got Darion slipping in there, but what it was a 13-1 loss against Boom. So I don't really know how much stock that we have for GG for Global Esports in this map, but we will see if it's not going to be a quick GG hit.
Hopefully not. That's it, though. We do have something already pushing out from door. Ooh, almost died, but it crashes away just in the nick of time.
Yeah, it's a 4-1 spread around the map now for Paper X because of that too.
कहाँ गया रे?
For the mound control, a lot of work for Forsaken to do.
चार.
Forsaken delivered in that first round, previous map.
Why- देख कैसा बैठे?
Smokes currently, though, trying to keep himself concealed.
जिंदगी में रोटेट नहीं मारते हम लोग
कद्दू भी
How
रोटेट ना
much
करो
time
रे.
Global Esports wait before opting to go in towards this B side as well, where the breakable door will go open courtesy of the salvos, and then they start to flood in together as a team.
All out through the rotating door from C side, though.
Papi.
Something unfortunately will
chill.
fall. But you also have Jing and the rest of the gang just around the cage of Yudotan. Yudotan then swings out because of the flash from Poppy, but it's not connecting. Divide finds it instead. Yudotan swings back out, but Patman takes the trade off towards where GE are playing then, though, out around A-Link. They've got a good angle against the spike. Jing looking to stick it halfway, gets off at the right time, but still not quite able to react in kind. Forsaken for the 1-on-2.
Salvos will eventually come online for Crystal.
Oh, and he's just staying tucked away as well. They hear the footsteps, but now Crystal has to.
What the fuck, Ray?
Not quite able to find it. Forsaken racking up kills up to a triple.
Angry Forsaken. He has got his runners on there, and he has hunted them down for the 1 versus 3 red bull clutch to come on out. I thought that Global might have been able to come away with that, but when you see some awkward shots coming out from Papi and Darion, sorry, Yudotan not able to get the immediate trade, makes it look a little bit awkward and worrisome, but I mean, respect has been certainly commanded in this round from PaperX, hasn't it? They are not scared to just take these fights here in this one. And as I said, Salvos eventually would come online for Crystal, but Forsaken just wants to get ahead of that one. Feeling confident on the kills, and, well, it doesn't phase him. It does not phase him. His 10th clutch to come in for VCT Pacific.
How about that? Reaching new milestones as well. That's got to feel good. And that gives them a little bit more confidence to hold down the sight lines against A. Gate crashes away. G looking to regroup themselves.
Yeah, force up from Global as well, because they got the plant down and it went down to, you know, just one player surviving from PaperX in the last round. Now though, spread around Mound. Sorry, Rubble. See if they're going to opt to stick around A, or if they will look to go and pivot in towards the B side again, or try to base in PaperX to any unexpected crossfires.
Feels like they're looking for CQB duels on this A site, and the force by Komodo worked out for them in map 1.
Salvo's back online for Crystal. South Drone goes in first. You want to combo a little bit of this utility to get the tree control.
Oh, something with the timing though. Just out.
Let's go!
Stingers aplenty, and GE will collect on kills as well. Forsaken though finding one, a second as well, and he does get away from the special delivery, but he knows that there are too many players surrounding. Fantastic to capitalize. Just Divai now.
Something about these force ups or thrifties from Global Esports.
Them recognizing situations as well. Quite aware as to where Divai could show up from, especially with the smoke blocking off stairs. Divai just has to try to go in for a peek. He had the utility in hand, so a little bit unfortunate, but good kill coming out from Yudotan.
Yeah, maybe needed to see a little bit more productivity from PaperX to get some information when they've got the members around the A site there, but it's just the creepiness that comes up, right? From the likes of Global, silently waiting for some of that utility to come back online before ultimately exploding together. Like, that one feels like a pretty good round from them. And, you know, one you can kind of emulate in scrims if you're in a situation like that, even on your rifles, for example. They just play it a little bit with the lesser subbies there of the Stingers, which is a little bit more favorable when you do get close up and personal.
Lesser subbies?
Lesser subbies. Submachine guns.
Oh, cool. We're learning Aussie slang now.
That might just be me slang. Not 100%. You know.
Nonetheless, it is going to be PaperX stacking up with 4 onto this A site. Darren quickly dispatched them.
Hunter's on though. See if these pistols can do something still for PaperX, getting really up close and personal, but that just doesn't work out, doesn't it? Yudotan finally in the game.
Yeah, no chance at all. I mean, those footsteps were very audible. So Yudotan, great to rack those up. Now he's got the Neuro Theft for future rounds. Divai once again left alive. And he's going to just try to find whatever he can. Good little swing out. Takes Yudotan down. But of course, the trade coming out then from Pop.
Yeah, getting the Neural Theft going online for this belated bonus round is going to be pretty good for Global, you would expect, if they're able to waltz around the map as well. And, you know, for example, push PaperX out of Mound. They're able to get the orb there, and then they get a Dimensional Drift online for Darion. So there's an opportunity that they definitely could steal away this next round, depending on what they look to do, and depending on how aware PaperX are going to be towards this C site, where they've not really gone for too much of the Mound control either themselves. Specifically now, judging by positions as well, they're not really going to be able to do something with just Divai holding that one. So this will be a pretty good start to the round for Global Esports to get that Dimensional Drift online and
you are gone now.
Keeping PaperX conditioned over onto the A side. Well, at least Jing will pick up an Alt Orb as well, though, so possibly for future rounds. But right now, Divai has to do some heavy lifting. He's feeling the pressure coming out. Here's footsteps onto the other side.
Let's just put more thorns down on the side as well. So getting an idea that it might eventually end over at this C site where you've still got the shear wall up the front of B and a pivot available with the rotating door if you feel any more pressure towards C. But you didn't have an idea if anyone was pushed up there. That's why the thorns get popped. And now you've got Global Esports looking to get some Mound control.
He's getting as well. So Forsaken not able to TP out. He does run into a link, back to stairs, maybe a heaven. But this is a slight opportunity for Global Esports to possibly get more leg room around the A site.
Just need to have a good, decisive call, though, from Global. If they're going to pivot towards the C site, now's kind of the time. They're starting to run it over, but 30 seconds, you're exactly right. Divide for all of the information. Look at that.
Colette picked up. You know, time to trade right back, though, as Patman peeks out from Pillar. Now Divide continuing to hold tight off angles around the C site. He's looking for more. Jing trying to get in with the kills as well. Blast backing through, but Poppy good on the shots off the
Let's go!
Now you got a reposition from Poppy, and Forsaken has already started to waltz on over. Fully expecting to come through the breakable door.
Clutch it.
Oh, he's got smokes up as well. Not quite watching the angle though. Forsaken! Crosshair placement, sharp and precise. He's gonna get the kill to bring Paper X up to 2.
Thought it might have been a little bit ambitious of Jing to get in there with the satchels through the rotating door to help out Divide as well. Specifically when I'm looking at how close Poppy is towards the From the Shadows as well. You know, if he's given the light of day to get that one off and bring the spike with him towards the A site, there might have been a real opportunity for him. I believe he even had the Archros available at the right location. Wards bound 2 potentially there, but this one right here. Hey, at least he got the one trade to bring it into the 1 versus 1 at the end there for Forsaken to be able to clutch that again.
A little bit eager, but you know, I'm not gonna fault a brother for trying to help another brother out. We'll see what happens then. You do have Petman on the judge now.
Crystal.
Yep.
Crystal up.
I personally would like to see something get a little bit more confident.
Let's go, Dire bhai.
Speaking of Yoru, Darion for his second ever
He's
appearance on this
low.
agent.
Something is low.
What I was able to see, it looks like the last time it was played was in some sort of overtime variety where he did go double negative. So
this is Coach Elevated, just trying to stick to the same composition. Darren clearly still able to make it work though. How efficient? Well, we have yet to see that so far. But right now it's an opening pick. Something also down low HP.
Cross kar diya, Crystal.
Darren certainly capable of learning in the server, it seems, at the moment to chop and change with the team. Good shot out from him there on a Jing. This is looking like a well-formulated round for Global so far, and that's even better when it's a 5 versus 2 situation.
See the replay, bro.
And Paper X slowly getting picked apart. You do have Divide with the Steel Garden, but it's 2 on 5.
Yeah, it'd be pretty risky to drop that one in. You can already see by the position of the Paper X members that they're just going to have to call for a save in this sort of situation, and with the credit mark in this round, I don't really favor Global Esports going for a hunt here. You can understand if Kelly S wants to, but I mean, you kind of just play respectful at this one. It's early in the half. You want to balance out your own economy. Just let them save this one and stew in the fact that Global will win a actual gun round for once.
Yeah. Slightly working off of time, but it's also with the confidence gained from the opening picks that they found. It's not too bad, you know, and I would like to jest, but 2v5 was a round that you know, went by last week against Paper X from BFM.
Yeah,
but yeah, this is obviously a different scenario.
For sure. And now you've got a little bit of time to just you know, converse things over at the tail end of this round. Immediately seeing better impact, better positioning. I think a little bit better calls as well, specifically where the boom game is concerned. For Global Esports as well. For those that might have just been joining us, that scoreline was a 13-1 in favor of Boom. And in this one, yeah, already a little bit more delivered to us from Global Esports. A timeout though from Paper X you'd expect here to further converse things over.
More time, why not? Certainly if you feel like you need it. Meanwhile on the other side, I mean, Darren certainly has been quite the upcoming talent. You know, seeing him from Bleed from before, he's found some moments for himself, like Aces against, I think, Gen G. Now, off to the Yoru, second time ever, like you mentioned, Komodo, and he's still kind of picking things up and he's able to perform. Paper X, you know, they've been getting picked apart, at least in the previous round, trying to gain some positioning around A main. What's it going to be for the next round?
I think more importantly for me, it's Global getting a sense that they can do things together as a team, making sure that the trades are going to be there, and making sure that Darion's like not too far in front of the team as well, right? When you are running the composition that they are running on the solo Yoru, you really don't want Darion just going on yonder and losing his life with no real impact in the round, right? Looking like a headless chicken. So making sure that he is together with the team and getting set up by the likes of Kalies, by the likes of Crystal as well, going to be quite important. You want to see Yudo-tan be this late lurker, the straggler to go around the map.
Especially with the fact that Global still has an op in the equation as well. You know, this kind of means that PaperX is going to have to think twice if they're going to peek out Rumble and Mound as well.
Yep.
They do have something up by Mound currently.
Yeah, waiting for the pop play, right? You can spot out what you can from something. You can have an Arc Rose go, and you can try and peek out together as the team. But without seeing anything, it's on to Forsaken to communicate if he hears anything towards the A side of things, for example, for then PaperX to either call that they need to do something at Mound and then rotate, or just rotate silently.
Pistols, well, which is kind of an unfortunate situation for PaperX. But that said, off to the A site now. Global beginning to retrieve some information, some crucial intel.
Darion spotted absolutely nothing over at this A side at the moment. Forsaken now to get some info. The fact that that's a free kill is quite unfortunate for Global. It makes things a little bit weird in this round. There's 2 rifles, 4 PaperX, couple of pistols. That gun that's dropped towards spawn not going to be recoverable. But you do have a player advantage where a situation like this, Quack, the Steel Garden investment could be large.
However, that comes down to Yurutan trying to hold the angle. Unfortunately, gunned down by Jing. Showstopper possibly getting deployed in the round. Kelly S just trying to play up by drop. Not quite spotted out yet, but here comes that rocket. Not quite landing as well. Kelly S then finding a shot onto something. The Steel Garden getting the primary weapons jammed, but Kelly S onto the go, still able to find some shots. Forsaken now from the back, but headed on by the shorty. Now with the Phantom finds the kill. Jing off to the defuse.
Yeah, the fact that Forsaken manages to find that first kill up in mid without a trade, and then you've got the Sheriff shots coming through from Jing from together as the team, right? In that scenario, I'm expecting that kill to just be assisted by the pretty much everyone at PaperX looking at the right location. A thrifty round to end it out. I mean, yeah, look at it. All of their guns are ready for that duel just there. And then, as I mentioned, Steel Garden in makes a lot of sense. Blood together as a team, hunting down Global Esports members. A thrifty round to come through from PaperX. And they also get now the operator out for something who is currently 060. If you flip it around, it's 006, and we all know what happens at 007.
You gotta look to crack that egg. We do like James Bond, but something. Let's not go there, shall we?
Well, maybe it will be Die Another Day.
Okay, Yurutan to hold the angle, but yeah, this time it's gonna be Global Esports trying to assert some presence over onto the C site. Yavai has been relegated to play a safer position by Waterfall.
Crystal wants to try and sell any sort of fake here, and it's just going to be the drone to go out by itself. So he's just going to wait to see what he can spot. Bit of over-eagerness potentially here from the PaperX members. Yudotan spotted out, by the way, during gate crash, and Crystal noted as well. So it's going to cause some investment of util for PaperX. Meanwhile, eyes on the prize of this C site for Global is the eventual end.
Well, yes, the off noted as well, and that's why they have decided to push into the C site now, especially alongside this Armageddon. In case something might have gate crashed over onto this part, the Armageddon renders him useless. Then to Devi, though, who's holding out by Waterfall, great on the 2 kills. Now even breaking clones as well. Darion now trying to do his best, but still PaperX able to flood and swarm back in with the retake.
Man, Devi has just absolutely brutalized them, hasn't he? 4 kills in the round, just a duel fought throughout. The aftershock in water as well, right? You're just considering that that's going to keep him locked in the corner, but he's just going to play on the back with the visual clutter and go for the kill. He's got assistance from Patman as well, bringing in with the Nightfall. Oh, just delivering the goods there for him. That is a pretty well-structured retake to come through from PaperX when they just have the idea eventually that it is going to be the C site, right?
Oh, and look at that
You
smile.
didn't see him get too hungry early to stick around in the site. Happy to play proper retake.
I couldn't agree more, Komodo, and for the past 2 rounds with PaperX playing like this, you gotta love how Uncle David is able to provide so much more value to the team now on this Vice roll. His Steel Garden won then that Thrifty.
I will say though, Quack.
Yes.
Bad Komodo is coming here. I got my shades on. There was one point in time on a map called Fracture. That Devi did flash himself. And,
Couple times, yes.
Yep. But he's learned his lesson.
Yep.
This time, don't use the utility. Just shoot.
Just shoot. That's how you play Vice. I gotta imagine the Riot devs, if they are watching somewhere, also feeling like really happy seeing that Steel Garden around. Like, this is exactly what we envisioned for this agent.
I mean, remember, Vice did just have a nerf coming on a couple of, 2 patches ago or something like that now, where you've got less time on the Razor Vines and such. So, still a pretty viable agent. you know, I think personally, and the way that the teams are adopting Vice as well. Meanwhile, folks, back on our something counter, not 007. He did get an assist in there.
All right. And it's still the op, you know, present in the round, so GE does have to figure that out, but currently going for rubble control, they have...
He's got out of that one, hasn't he?
So quick off to it.
Kill onto towards Darion, rotating door, still rotating, and his Shroud stepped in towards there, and no one's shot at him.
Still has one more TP as well. GE kind of trying to think tactically around this situation, thinking to rotate back in towards B, but Jing is there.
Just a round of duels at the moment for Paper X, not letting these guns find any opportunity from Global. Now in a 5 versus 2. You need to see Kalias and Crystal do something pretty destructive to get back into this one.
Given the positions though, they are somewhat susceptible to spams. Paper X trying to keep themselves with minimal exposure, hiding behind corners, and that's when Crystal will find his first headshot. One hit cracked. Looks for an opportunity to slip into the B side. Repeaks, takes down another player, but Jing, oh Jing, you're just happy to clean things up for Paper X.
Yeah, so far, 3 on the trot on this defensive side, starting to play with a little bit of the piggy bank as well, right? Building up a little bit of the economy there. Jing far out in front of the rest of the team. As we just see a lot of these duels in that round, won by Paper X pretty cleanly. You know, a little bit of damage delivered and only 1 casualty, or 2 casualties rather, at the end of that one. But you'll still be pretty happy with how things did result there. On the back of a timeout as well, right? Nothing really eventuating for Global Esports there, but another buy up they will present. A lot of rubble control to be established by Paper X, and I think if you're Global Esports, you need to recognize that these slower paced rounds have not been working, so you got to get a little bit of a quicker wriggle on. The Shia is not at the front of C. You've got an Omen, you've got a Yoru. You can get to the back of this C site early.
Oh, but they're feeling some, well, I'm afraid to say this word, but PTSD. They knew that Devi has been playing on the C site.
And he's got the steel card, and yet again, remember? So just the success of a couple moments ago on that A site, now reenactable. Speaking about something.
Yeah!
Hey, we're on the board!
Woohoo! You gotta pop some party streamers and everything, but yeah, back into the C site, precisely with this possible steel garden. You know, slight mishaps here and there, but they are able to get boots on the ground on C. With that, maybe the spike as well, but then the steel garden comes out. They're pushing all the way through just to try to wrangle more space, but Jing denies it outright. Forsaken blocking off B pillar as well, and now, oh, something. You're just pushing Kelly S away. He's looking for some kills right back though, but out of the gate crash, and it's into the shorty. Something not letting Global Esports breathe at all.
1 HP. It's close, but he gets it done. I was looking at actually the positioning off screen from Crystal. The Steel Garden, we saw the tail end of it, looking to remove his gun up through the middle of the pillars, but Forsaken stuck around and found the kill the whole time with the operator. So even the heads up and disciplined play to come through from Paper X, that they know that potential lurk is coming because they didn't spot him on the hit. They didn't see the Teho utility in towards the site when they opt to fall back towards the holes, towards Waterfall. So you got to be really aware that Global Esports are liking to have these little later lurks from somebody to come around the map. And oh dearie me.
Andy.
It would appear that a client has crashed.
I think we've been pretty good here.
Toss कब होता? Toss. Cricket की toss कब होती?
Yeah, we have been. Most of the group stage has been pretty
Pitch report!
pause-led
Gang
so far.
the deck! You mentioned the pitches number 6 will be used for the game at
eventually go down sometimes, Komodo.
64 on one side and 69 on the other side, and
that's like a
trade
roller coaster.
73.
They go up, they go down.
Darren, the
It's
3 games have been playing,
You know what doesn't go,
what
is it? Down
Lighting?
An umbrella through a chimney.
Why do I expect the
Can't
high
make the umbrella go down a chimney while it's up. Doesn't fit.
Oh yeah, that's true. Just
Just
the what do you call it, surface
throwing
area.
the grass.
Tech pause though.
Bad
Players
spots.
can't talk in this sort of situation, but we can. So unfortunately now everyone's got the podcast with us. This guy wants to riot gun buddy. Please, with 3 Zs.
3 Zs. I don't know how lucky you're gonna be. How lucky you're gonna get with that one. Maybe if you some of the red.
I don't know if I caught it. I didn't see the gamer name in there with the hashtag and everything to give it to. So maybe gotta find
Maybe
it.
it's
I didn't see
Korean.
it. I don't know. Maybe.
I don't know.
Potentially. Regardless though, Paper X man. They
Something found his first kill.
Yep, getting a bit of a wriggle on how to play this defensive side on this map. Happy enough to play a lot of the retake style, which was quite successful from Boom, for example. Happy to let Global Esports either get into the site completely as 5 and go for the full retake, or try to chip 1 or 2 players away first and then set up for a pretty strong retake, or
he's a great player.
Just getting in there beforehand,
Great
throwing
man.
spanner in the works too.
That's it, though. Allow me to try to pick your brain a little bit, Komodo. Because Global Esports are definitely a formidable team. They have potential. We've seen them swing rounds where they have thrifty being picked up. They force bot with the stinger, and they managed to turn things around a little bit. Just when it comes down to some of these rounds, they begin to, I don't know, lose the lead.
There's some miscommunications from the outset that I think is one of the things, right? By positioning and timing, even layering in towards these executes as well. Like the thing that I highlighted in the previous round was a paranoia comes in a little bit later on from Pappy, and that blinded Darion when he TP'd in towards the back of site. Like imagine a scenario where there's players on the C site from Paper X. It's not just fully disconnected and Thorns popped, right? They'd be dead to rights, free of charge in those sort of scenarios. So it's this indecision making coupled with some ill timings on a couple of these moments in time, either repositioning around the map or utility specifically as well, that does make things look a little bit awkward and can be their undoing. Because don't get me wrong, they've got some pretty good rounds. Like we saw some pretty good rounds from them over on Split, but more often than not, we just see better decisive rounds from the other teams.
Yeah, there you have it. And I couldn't agree more because, well, this is Darion's second official Yoru game. I don't entirely fault him for having some of these mishaps with flashes, but they do happen. And at the same time, like you mentioned, the indecisiveness. We've been talking about it since map 1. Possibly another thing is also just the fact that they're not using the tense mouse, Komodo.
Aren't they?
I don't think so.
I would actually taken complete stock on the
I'm not entirely
usages of the players here.
Speaking of mice, though, I do know that you are quite the
getting into my mice
connoisseurness.
This guy uses finger. His mouse is like
I'm the world's best
super tiny.
grams pure carbon fiber.
मैं जब iron lobby में मर जाता हूँ, मैं चिल्ला चिल्ला
I
के
don't know how you make it work.
अरे left पे आ रहे,
good.
अरे right जा रहे.
But that said, yes, still with the tech pause, bear with us.
It's one of these things as well, where it's like Split, of course, in the veto chosen by Global Esports. It makes sense when they're allowed to pick that one. I don't see a world in which they don't pick Split, so Paper X expects that one, and then they've got their choice of the veto as well, where Global remove Fracture, okay, understandable. Paper X remove Haven, okay, understandable. I think looking at this veto, it may very well have been one to be an expected result for both of these teams. The decider, of course, between Ascent and Pearl, that Paper X get to choose towards Pearl, which to me is a bit of an interesting one, because ending on Pearl I think would be really spicy when we consider what Paper X did last week against DFM, and we also look towards what we've seen so far from Global, right? They played it against Gen G where it was a mid-range loss. They had a really close win against DFM in the opening week, trying to change things agent-wise as well. So there's options, right? We can definitely see a lot of these options here from them.
Possibly. But first, you've got to make your way through this current Lotus map.
Yeah,
and it's not as though G can't do it.
Well, you got to remember, if you don't make it through Lotus here, you lose 2-0. You're have only won against DFM in a 2-0 fashion. You didn't get a single map against all the other teams. You're out of playoffs. And then you've got time to kind of rework things come stage 2.
It's the entire cake. I think sometimes the cake is lie, and sometimes you have just these situations where it's really tough for GE as well. I mean, okay, the timeout. Oh no, we went from tech pause to a timeout.
Common.
Okay.
Pretty common when you've got a lengthy tech pause and you potentially even forget what was discussed just beforehand. But Global Esports will dive into their second timeout of the map now.
Yeah, and that's one of the other things that I was just about to go into, with the fact that Global Esports, while they do have a pretty good chance at maybe taking down Paper X, who have been on a bit of a loss streak, cracked that loss streak against DFM last week.
Yeah.
Global have gone through their own host of issues as well. Elevated, promoted to head coach mid-season. Patrick Hu with some visa issues, and then you got Darion coming back in as well. They have some good ideas. They have some core strategies that they have been able to employ at certain times. We saw a little bit of it onto Lotus, especially when they were, with Crystal, before themselves come back up. They exploded all over the A site. But after that point, you know, without much information or without much decisiveness, you start to see them lose rounds to pressure, time, or getting their players getting picked off by Forsaken, who just TPs in towards Rubble and out.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if Global Esports maybe go for something a little bit quicker here, but getting in towards a site and not immediately trying to set themselves up for a post. They need to take the challenge.
Kitni der bhai tech pass?
Even maybe before going for the full plant, take it a little bit further to them. You know, change it up, right? You've got Dimensional Drifters Darion to sniff out a lot of this information. That could definitely set up your team to get a little bit further into a site. Not specifically the A site though, because PaperX have already scared you away a little bit here.
Yeah, just pressing the button on that door as well. Certainly trying to make some noise towards B though. Fake out already used.
Batman भाई अभी खेल रहे जंजी के सामने ऐसा नहीं खेले तुम ना अभी खेलो तुम ना हमारी टीम के खिलाफ ही खेलो तुम ना अच्छा स्टैक्स बना रहे पुश कर रहे तक ए स्टैक कर रहे रीड कर रहे वही जंजी वंजी ये DRX सब लाते रहा तब तुम लोग की बोलती बंद हो जाती तब तुम ना कुछ नहीं बोलते अब देख रहा हूँ
They should know that this is going to eventuate towards the A site for Global Esports. Quack, my question though is, do they go a little bit further than the site itself to stave off PaperX?
Comes down to how much Darion can find. I think good that the team was able to follow through off of the dimensional drift, but now you're hearing some fake footsteps off the drop as well. Something trying to throw them off his scent, and then for the rest of PaperX to group up behind.
Yeah, you can't use that gate crash, unfortunately, there as old mate Darion, you're stuck in towards the site, but you've got a lot to do here with the team. Let's see if Global can get this.
PaperX quite aware of where the G players are, though, just to take the first hit down by Tree. The second one kill going free as well. 4v3 now, and PaperX continues to push on through. Immediate salvos from Crystal, though, does push PaperX off position just a bit. Jing then taking Poppy down by the back. Unfortunately, TP's not quite favoring him now, but all of a sudden, get the kills. The stingers from Crystal and Darion just decimating PaperX in whole. Thrifty found by Global Esports.
It's another Thrifty that they're able to pull away with. They can't convincingly get a proper round, it feels like, but at least that one is across the board. The from the shadows that does come out there as well from Poppy is a little bit questionable, but I think maybe a little bit more questionable is Jing on that spray time. An issue at the end of that one, not for Global, but PaperX can't establish themselves on the spike early enough because of the damaging util that the salvos provides. Global hold on to try and tie up at the half if possible.
Which would be a pretty decent start. Got ops now on both sides as well. Yoru for Yoru, but something with the peek out from Mound.
Give me more, he says. The problem is though, Quack, you've removed the smokes from Global Esports. Oh, and they don't even bait out the shear.
Quickly shot down by Jing.
Yeah, makes it really awkward to try and get in towards this side.
Let's
though,
go!
If Jing's giving you a free opener there, back to balance out in the 4 versus 4, you take that.
SG versus SG. Darion, good for a bit of an opener, but now you've got to trip the sheer wall, or for everyone just to hop on at the same time. They will trip it, and then for Crystal to try to lurk around Rubble, but unfortunately shut down by Forsaken.
Crystal's lurks have not really worked out too much, have they? Now you get the information from the shadows from Forsaken. I think he might have even spotted all 3 members out just then.
A little bit odd for the initiator to lurk as well, but that said, it's going to be something on this Yoru.
And he's still got Thorns available as well on something's call.
Yeah, quick off to it.
Let's go!
Shorty swing.
Yoru div, sub div.
Just dumped on him a little bit quicker. Sight now handed over onto GE, but PaperX quick to flood back in as well. Forsaken looking for a cheeky angle. Prowler will go through, not quite finding anyone. Just clearing out the front portion of the site. Then Rolling Thunder to push PaperX further back. Shorty though! And that's Kelly has cut down by half around the torso. Darion now just marking Forsaken. Still going for the crosshair wiggle. He has an op after all. Will find his target, and then for Yudotan to slay the rest of PaperX down.
Some crossfires in the end there for Darion and for Yudotan, being very patient to not reveal where that operator is posted as well. Nicely done from them despite losing the first frag in the round and losing Papi on the smoke. You consider, right? Sheer not popped at the front of B. Makes it look a little bit awkward, but 3 versus 3 scenario and you start to feel spike is down. Will they manage to get the post plant worked? They will. So going into the last round of the half, 5 versus 6, they can definitely
बस ना
equalize
7-5 good switch
Especially
बोल सकते
considering
हैं
the ultimates at hand as well. Crystal on the
पुश कर रहे हैं
Armageddon.
फिर से
PaperX
बेशरम हो
though,
गए
once
कसम
again,
से
getting
पुश करे
things
जा
with
रहे हैं
huge rebel control. All
Yeah.
4 pushing down.
a little bit more forward than we've seen from them in the last couple of rounds too. So you'll leave something to play potentially by himself and get a little bit of a
Rotate
rotate on
Arco.
because the Arc Rose has just confirmed a bit of presence around the mound. And this is Global Esports looking to get into the C site earlier. There's no dimensional drift for something. There's no thorns.
मर जाता है
anymore
क्या
around the
guys
site
उसमें
either,
अगर
and
वो
no steel guard for device.
चलाने के लिए
Really
गया
playing
तो
on the back of maybe a combination of Nightfall,
छोटे से छोटे
show-stopping
चीज
it.
मारने रहता है लोग
Divine playing super far back as well. Second Thorn's tripped, but he has no idea.
Yeah, he doesn't know that they're in the site, does he? Starting to reposition. Arcrose was just
Wow.
destroyed back towards Mound.
Nightfall retake play? That's
Yeah, I
it?
think so. It's got to be the Nightfall, it's got to be the Showstopper. But Global, I mean, they could potentially even try to remove a member before the spike plant goes down. I was just talking about them needing to do something like this.
Oh boy, Yudotan playing with the
Kill,
op
kill,
around
kill.
Mount as well. The Nightfall will go
Kill.
through though to 5 for the double kill, but that's Yudotan now. Showstopper creeping as well, but the wall bank shots from Jing. He's got walls. Off to the next one though, it's Crystal with the Armageddon, but as it goes out, PaperX just happy to swarm back in off the timing. Just
Bhai,
Yudotan and he's
Oman bhai,
alone. A
मेरे
soul
को समझ में नहीं
tango
आया, sorry.
and it's PaperX
Sorry.
with the Mango now up 7.
Sorry
to 5
papi
at the
भाई
end of the first
I
half.
can't defend
I
भाई
like Mango.
क्यों
That
भाई
is a good
इधर
7-5
लेना
though
ही
for
जरूरत नहीं था
PaperX. They're
स्मोक
able to
करके
win that
टाइम बाय
one on a
करते
retake. Pretty good. The rocket goes wayward, but I mean, I think this is probably my most common statement now in this video game when I'm casting. Stun's a cosmetic. How is he getting that kill through the wall? Stunned. They're cosmetic, man. It does not matter.
It doesn't
Half-time.
matter if you have the skill to shake it off.
5-7.
2-0
This is
तो मन नहीं है यार मेरे को
for
देखना
the likes
2-0
of
देखना
Global
तो
Esports, but it makes me wonder, it makes me
2-0
ponder,
मत करो
are we
यार,
going to see a
please.
closeout like the last map where it was just a flawless attack to end things up for PaperX? I don't get the vibe. I think we're seeing a little bit more from Global Esports here in their positioning and in their tradability in the last couple of rounds just then. But I mean, it definitely can, you know, have a bad start on the switch up here, and it can spiral. So anything is kind of possible.
Anything can happen. As with Valorant, as with VCT, well, just taking a look at past statistics, PaperX's last game against DFM last week, they only had 3 rounds on the attack Komodo. They had the first 2, but after that, they lost 5 in a row to DFM.
Yep. And then we all know how Pearl
That happened as
ended
well.
in that series.
It's a quick refresh of memory, so certainly with that image now in people's minds, you could
Mind Freak watch party, let's go.
maybe
Let's
see
go,
this
Mind
go
Freak,
into
bro.
a map 3,
भाई
depending
Mind
on
Freak
how
भाई भी
Global
एक
takes
character
it
है
as well.
भाई
I mean, the biggest thing for me that I remember
Ban
on
के नहीं,
the
Benkai,
DFM
Benkai,
versus
sorry, Mind Freak
PaperX
नहीं,
game on
Benkai.
Lotus, right, was on that
Benkai
attacking side. We saw some
Benkai,
great
Benkai,
consistency
Benkai,
from
Benkai.
Devi and from something. The rest of the team had like 1 or 2 kills each. It was pretty abysmal, but then they
different
flipped it over
player,
on
yeah.
defense, and PaperX looked,
वो
you know,
कुछ भी
I
पहन
mean,
के आ
the
जाता
start
था
of
देख
defense, they looked a lot stronger,
कैरेक्टर जैसा
right?
बन के आता
So
था
now going back onto this attacking side, are we going to see somebody for PaperX just kind of be the captain to steer the ship, or are we going to see Global
कौन खाया
prod
खाया
around the
कोई
map
तो
and
Crystal
figure out, you know, any stragglers or
Tap
any
बोल के खाया
trade superiority?
Would love to see something, but, well, I mean the player. But currently, I think it's Divine finding a sheriff shot onto Crystal, who has to fall back.
Now we get into just the mid-rounding of this one. And what
अबे मेरे
PaperX is
इसमें आ
going to be
रहा है
able to
क्या
figure
ये?
out utility-wise, a bit of a trap play on the back of this camera and flash, but you
Nah,
can't do anything in
skills
terms
नहीं है
of kills
पता
here.
नहीं.
It's just to stave off PaperX from any aggression, get them to draw out some of the utility, which, to be fair, the paint shells being brought out by Jing works good for Global. They don't have to contend with that.
मार 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 मार
Macro-wise, some utility traded out, namely the Paranoia as well, but right now PaperX still looking to break their way through. That said though, Yudotan, he's anchoring down the site, 2 kills found, and he's looking for a 3rd as well. Jing narrowly dodging
ये
out
लोग
with
सब
his
लोग लो है,
IQ
guys.
hacked. Kelly's then looking for a potential
Hello?
flank around.
G,
PaperX looking
yes,
for
this is
alternate
secret
routes
agent
across
reporting.
the map.
This
Maybe
all-
back into the A site where Kelly's is
3,
still hiding in
2,
wait.
or low.
Darian now for the next kill.
Yes, this
Swings
also
out
low,
then
this also low.
Kelly for the
This
first.
also low. Let's go,
Crystal
let's go, let's go.
the pistol. quickly picked up by Global Esports.
Yeah, their first one of the series as well. Of course, both of them
go.
going in the way of PaperX
Let's
in map
go.
number 1. The first one of this one
Dire bhai.
to PaperX as well. But then it's always been that
Shante
second
mara
round
isko.
that you kind of consider would Global Esports manage
अब नहीं
to
something
answer
भाई अब
force up the stingers or not. They don't need to
ऐसा
worry
मत
about that
आओ.
now. As they
सीधा
will
टपली पे
potentially-
खाओगे.
well, it should tie things up
Sorry.
7 apiece before we get the guns
तंता
and started in this half.
You just said don't be scary. Like the
ये
player?
फ्लैश मैं भी लगाता हूँ मेरे से
No, we
सिखाएंगे
want him to be like scary.
I know.
He was good.
You're saying you don't want Forsaken to be like scary.
Don't be scared. I think more importantly
Okay.
right now, Darion not scared to take a duel,
Ball
dispatching
is
of Forsaken first. He first
Trap
fell in the
nila
last
na?
round, first falling in this one as
Eee,
well.
mar
It
gaya.
should be hunky-dory here for Global
सीपे
Esports to tie up.
शॉटगन
Until though, Jing diving in with the Bucky will take a kill
Satchel
down.
Marcus
Bulldog
होगा,
picked
पक्का
up,
Satchel
looking for
Marcus.
some suppressive fire to allow
आने
his
दे
teammates
ना,
to
आने दे.
possibly get the spike down.
Yeah,
Petman
happy with that.
will do that. Bulldog swapped on over.
इन
And
सबको
Jing
आने दे
try to play
Easy
around
retake,
these tight
easy
corners with the Bucky still. Something though, attempting at peaks. Got the fake out with some footsteps over. And Paper X just dwindling around, dawdling around, just around these corners in case Global Esports begin to flood in. Patman finds the first shot, but instantly traded by a stinger. Now just Jing. He's gotten 1 kill on the Bucky so far, but unfortunately the paint shell's in his face with Crystal jumping up on top as well. Global
balls ba
with
ba
some
balls
damage
ba
sustained,
ba
happily to
balls
move up onto a
balls
7.
मालूम
Always
था
a
मार देते
scenario
वक्त
in the
अपने
heat of
वाले
those moments as well
Lap,
that a
lap,
lot of
lap,
players
lap,
don't
lap, lap, lap,
vertically look
lap,
up
lap,
onto the boxes and they get taken down from above. But hey, an aspect there that works a treat for Global Esports. Some damage done. Yeah, they lose 3 members in the
Jagged
piece,
पछाड़.
so that'll have a
और
bit
एक
of
मारता
impact
था ना
going
मजा
into
आता
this next
मालूम था
round.
सैचल
It'll
मार
be
के
the
घुसाएंगे
bonus round for them.
मालूम रे जिंगू
See what that does kind of look like for
Trying to be
PaperX now
Kingu.
on this attacking side if they are able
Mike
to,
Crystal.
you know, win the round that they should be
Shandy.
winning, quote unquote.
Yeah,
Crystal
poised to
shot mara.
potentially take a couple more rounds, especially with the economy not too healthy on the side of Global. But that said, yeah, you do have some stingers and weaker weaponry onto the side of Paper X as well. Jing possibly looking to dive on.
Maro!
Also mound control now.
Guso!
Global Esports. You got the aftershock being sent through, but look at Defy. Quick with the burst onto 2 kills by Pillar, and that could give
Kidhar
him the
mara
pinch
hai?
around the door as well. He preps the button. He does get the 3rd, but quickly traded by Kelly S. Crystal and the rest of them also looking to flood back into the B site for some safety net, but
हमारे रे
still
लोग दोनों.
Forsaken quick on the draw.
I mean, I don't know if that
Flat was
one's the
enemy
actual
models.
W gaming to come through from PaperX, but they certainly were looking to turn up the pace in terms of all of those duels around the map. And I mean, mound control, I'm looking at, you know, Forsaken potentially dying to the aftershock if it gets thrown his way. You saw him pull out just before the switch of the Observer, you know, the paranoia, but quickly
दवाई
shifts
भाई
away and is still able
देख
to
के
assist
भाई
the team,
देख
and
के
then
ऐसे ऐसे
eventually,
मत
you
करो
know,
ज्यादा
PaperX get the cleanup.
बोल
So
ले रहा
those are
हूँ
the rounds that you just need to weather
मसला हो
and fight
जाएगा
in amongst the chaos there.
हमारे रॉसी भाई को भेजूं
PaperX, they will reclaim the
बिंग्स
lead
को
here.
भेजूं
Will they be
Goldie Bhai को
expecting
भेजूं?
the operator for Darion? Nobody
Main player
up
है
through the
इधर-
guts of
इंडिया में
mid,
इधर।
mid. That's some good
मैं खुद
information
नहीं आ रहा हूँ।
for Global. And now they should know that PaperX have got in towards this C site.
पहुंच जा रे चल जा जा जा
Yeah, Yudo
spawn पे जाके मार के जा
all the way far off as well. Jing, a lot of space taken up
Jing
around
भी
Hall
कहीं
now.
गए,
And
बच्चे
that
वाला
allows him
रहता
to put this one way up.
spawn को चल जा इससे
Another
अच्छा
smoke up towards Waterfall as well.
Rolling Thunder for Kelly S could be quite pivotal here.
Gets into range. He's looking to deploy at the right time for the rest of his team to then be the catalyst to push on through. Darion with the first shot, something getting taken out. The rest of PaperX though vacating the site to try to play around Mound
Khaya,
instead.
khaya, khaya.
Big shell sent over as well, but Aftershock taking Jing out of the equation. Now PaperX completely smoked off. They need to find the kill around the diffuser. They will do just that, but still Global Esports with the numbers looking to dominate and push on through. We have found some semblance of global
पर जगह अच्छी है
domination
ना
in
ऊपर बैठ
round
के करूँ
15.
I
मेरी
don't know
सीख
if I call
लेती
that
है
one domination. That was
ऊपर
very
बैठ के
hairy at the tail end of that one there, Quack. I mean, the
Gulti
trades that
diffuse
start
कर
to
रहा
come on
है।
out.
गलती
Jing
diffuse
did
करा
get
रहे।
caught in the aftershock. Tag on towards his body when he's trying to get out those paint
ऐसे
shells as
ऊपर
well
बैठ
and just
के।
couldn't disconnect from all the action. I mean, it's always a
Sweet,
risky thing
set,
to try
diffuse
and
करने
go
का
for a
scene।
full mound
ये भी
post-plant
गलती से लगाना
control
तो बुल्ला ही ना
situation.
लगता था
PaperX, I mean, they put it on the back of Forsaken to
Set.
try and win that one, but Yudo's just there for the trades from above time and time
ऊपर
again.
बैठ के
And we will equalize up once more. Global will reset the economy of PaperX, who have an option to do something funny yet again here with what they go into this round with. Steel Garden, Nightfall. You lose one of those if Darion keeps on creeping.
Oh, That will be that drop. Jing with a Bucky again, too.
Good kiss there.
This time in towards A-Link, where with a Bucky in the spot, you know, Poppy and the likes of Kelly S, they're going to have to think twice before pushing into this area.
But that's a good paranoia.
It hits, but you're not going to peek into it. How could you, knowing that there could be a Bucky on the other side? And now, Kelly S unfortunately getting taken out by that op, picked up by Davai as well. Just Yudotan, who is really in any good position to do something, but he's smoked off as well.
I mean, as long as Davai is keeping this operator into the next round, it does not matter who dies for Paper X here. If they steal away any of the guns that had fallen onto the floor, okay, you want that player surviving. But it kind of doesn't matter anymore. Paper X are just going to be answering back into this round. Maybe ending it with a flawless. I mean, the hunt is a little bit on towards Yudotan because the credits are absent for Global. Any escape kill here will hurt. But I don't think they're going to happen. Forsaken gets in. It's okay. So not flawless in a complete sense for Paper X, but the way that the round essentially should have gone there, they did it flawlessly, right? The investment of the Nightfall, just getting in towards that site, getting the shot onto Darion, looking, I think, unscoped at that current time, right? And then the Bucky here just straight towards Crystal's face.
Yeah, both teams having some instances where they do kind of push out a little bit too far at certain times, but nonetheless, this is going to be now Paper X 9-8. That was a little bit of a thrifty round, by the way. Global Esports now with a slightly weaker weaponry.
Got to get all this information, got to answer back as Global. You can't do anything on this combo utility, or can you? You're trying!
Off to the shorty. Yudotan has arrived as well now, but he doesn't quite have the angles just yet. Looking for the spray transfers, but it's just Jing with the Bucky! He's found 3 kills! Crystal, though, Sheriff shot. And now the drone. Davai has been suppressed, but all he needs to do is to just lock down this angle.
They can just run. They can just run to the sea site. There's nobody home to welcome them with milk and cookies. They can just set up, kick back and relax.
And pick up an orb. Yeah, why not?
Yeah, I mean, get Jing closer towards this showstopper with a plant. He's one away. Crystal, though, an opportunity, if he can find a 1 versus 1, to make this somewhat doable. Armageddon, maybe?
You could, like, flood the whole site with that entire kit. Maybe.
Yeah, but...
You know there's an op in play, potentially as well, but yeah, okay, Jing's got the Phantom now, the angle, that's just pink mist from Davai, quickly finding it.
Double digits for Paper X, and I'm really excited to see this replay for Jing. Just
3K
dancing around with the Bucky.
We had a Bucky ace from Mr. Frala and EMEA, and now we've got Jing doing these things. Oh, they were all flashed.
Yeah, I mean, you look at all the utility that came through from Global Esports in the beginning of that, right? Dimensional Drift, you got a fault line, you got flashes and everything, but I think it's the counter utility from Paper X that makes that one a little bit
please, ek map jito re. G walo, ek map jito,
please. We're in a sort of
please.
scenario where if this gun round goes awry for Global Esports, you got to remember and cast your mind back to the fact that they used both timeouts early in the first half.
And through the one-way smoke as well. Global Esports. Can they find a way back into this game? It's a 4v5 in this current round.
And your Sentinel player is now down as well, so there is an open option for Paper X to find around the map to just get in free of charge.
Right, weaker hold across the sites, and well, Paper X goes for the call into B, where it is open. You've got Jing now watching the angles towards A-Link as well. The back of B also blocked off. Kellyes was attempting something at the very least, but now no longer able. Crystal backing so far off. It's a 2v5.
Gotta save. You do not have the money to be splashing in on this game as Global. It's just going to be another impactful scenario by Paper X that really looks to put Global 6 feet under, doesn't it? This will be 11 for Paper X, and you got to consider, do we force on the back of these 2 guns as Global, or do we half buy to potentially have a full buy and push us into overtime? These situations in any game are usually quite hurtful, but when you add on the fact, Quack, that if Global won this series, they'd be in playoffs for the first time ever. Kind of hurts a little bit more, right? This is the culmination of the losses in the previous series now that they are put in this scenario.
Well, consolation frag for Crystal at the very least, but you are absolutely right, Komodo. 11-8 at this point. Global, they're going to begin to feel like they just have to keep buying up. They're just going to have to scrounge up the best buy that they've got together.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, the Dinos, they've just gone global.
Yeah, I mean, we've really seen just consistency after consistency from nearly every series from Jing, right? And he's just doing it again, making sure that he's getting involved in a lot of these duels, winning them significantly.
Picking up slack where, you know, maybe something might not be performing hot.
I mean, something has not made it quiet that he doesn't really favor the Yoru, for example. It's still really learning.
Right now, at least, though, Jing, okay, getting taken out really quickly, but right there, it's going to be Forsaken, his brother, right off alongside him. With that, then, a little bit more space into this A site, the smokes to block off a Link. Heaven, though, then, is open, but Forsaken just uses that as an opportunity! Swings out, 2 more kills, looks for the last, and he picks up the 4K!
I mean, you could see the idea on the back of Crystal's mind there as well, holding out the Armageddon ready for the team to flood, but just not expecting just the absolute charge that Forsaken brings into it. He now as well will meet with 20 kills. There's 3 members of Paper X that have 20 kills on the map, and 2 of them haven't even achieved 10 yet. Sometimes it is an effort by committee, sometimes it's just a full house affair, and it looks like Paper X, I mean, they've just got a read on the deck.
Fully locked in, primed to take this map down. Global Esports backed up against the ropes. Do they have it in them to punch and swing back? Oh, instant TP from Forsaken.
Cheeky, real cheeky. Crystal, how are the cogs turning in your head in this current juncture?
They're still looking to lock down Rebel at the very least, though. Darian watching the off angle. Clone broken, instant TP's out. Forsaken now.
You would never expect the flash to come through in this scenario as Kelly S. Ever expect that.
That's just Kelly put in the body bag now. Paper X flooding up front. The full march forwards into the site.
Okay.
Yudotan not bad on a bit of a refrag off towards Heaven, but that
is where you pivot. That is where you pivot as Paper X towards the B site. No one else is there currently. You did just see Yudotan in a reposition from Papi.
Yudotan quick to Heaven. But so far, none of the Paper X players visible. Paranoia as well, but it's just Jing on the site. Devi has an op as well, which isn't necessarily the best tool. He doesn't have the utility placed down. Smokes out now from Poppy to get the spike stuck to possibly halfway.
Let's go!
From something not effective.
Let's go! Clutcher
the most favorable either. A good quad kill from Yudotan to bring Global back to life.
I mean, when Papi puts the dark cover on that
come back, guys. Come back.
Really gonna do anything in that sort of scenario.
पर यार check करो ना, कोई तो जाके check तो करो आया कि नहीं बोल के.
Deep. I mean, I highlighted it a little bit earlier in the previous map, right? The Yudotan, it felt like he was almost completely absent in that map. So we definitely needed to see a bit of a step up from him. Coming out with 4K like that is great. Don't get me wrong, but you're gonna have to probably see it done again. GE. It was 4 chances that Paper X had to close out this map. Now it's 3, so at least afforded some more length in this map.
Confidence with the op as well from Darian, but not quite landing the shot now. Instant TP's out. Seaside is completely open by something on this dimensional drift.
Scoping out the opposition. Nobody here outside gravel, and this is where they can start to set themselves up.
Something jata hai, something nahi jata.
Kelly S 1 away from the Rolling Thunder, but apart from that, Global, it's just big old dry duels.
Yeah, not too much on the util arena as well. Crystal perhaps if the Salvas come back alive, but right now something is a ghost and he's haunting the heck out of them. Nightfall sent over.
Nice one!
Batman trying to drag them down into the depths, but Darian to bring some light to his team. The op shot fired over.
Let's go.
Something holding the angle. Jing now from Waterfall on an off angle, but the shot's not quite connecting for him. Just a Vi. David looks for the flicks. He gets the spray transfer at the end. The clutch with wings brought to you by Red Bull at the end of it all, but nonetheless, the map closed out at 13-9.
And that means that Paper X will be making it into the playoffs. They will not go down in total defeat in BCT Pacific. Yes, it took them a bloody marathon to get here, but they made sure they had their rests. They made sure that they had their preps ready, and they do indeed make it into the playoffs.
I have nothing to say because something has not left anything to say. Thank you guys. रात को फिर से आऊँगा 4 बजे. पता है कोई देखेगा नहीं, फिर भी मेरे मन के शांति के लिए कर लेता हूँ. ठीक है. बॉल स्पैक तुम्हारे भी दबा दो. मन के शांति के लिए कर लेता हूँ मैं. आके सेंटिनल्स वर्सेस जी कुछ तो टट्टी टीम है भाई. सेंटर जीत जाती फिर भी मैच वॉच पार्टी करता हूँ, क्या बोलते कल सुबह मेरे को क्रिकेट खेलने जाना है, ठीक है। बॉल्स पैक्ड, थैंक यू फॉर ट्यूनिंग इन। पता है इनकन्वीनियंस से चूते आपा कर रहा हूँ यार, कैमरा नहीं आ रहा कभी हो रहा, ठीक है कर थोड़ा सह लेंगे। मेरा पीसी का फ़ैन ख़राब हो गया क्योंकि पता नहीं क्यों वो ऐसे गर्म हवा मेरे को छोड़ रहा है ऐसा, ठीक है गाइस, थैंक यू फॉर वॉचिंग। छुपिया